Mac. I think it's going to be tight, like 13-11.
Same, 13-10.
A tight game on deck to start out ESL Impact, and we wouldn't have it any other way. It's time for Season 8 Finals to begin. It's time for our casters to take it away.
Well, Desk, 13-11, 13-10 on Mirage. Freddy, what do you think about that?
I don't know if I'm just, or if I just don't know ball or not, but like, I'm thinking kind of the opposite. When I saw Mirage, I was thinking, how have Let Her Cook let this through? Like, I look at FlyQuest, it's Mirage, it's their best map. Even though they have Marie, who I think their best player is the B anchor, she still just locks that bomb site down. So I'm coming into this map feeling very confident for the North American side.
I mean, I was already confident for them. And, well, they're going to kick things off with BBR getting that first kill onto a very aggressive Joanna. That's going to open up the pathing onto that B site, starting to overrun. But Shia, one of the newer players, going to keep that on lock. And suddenly, in the blink of an eye, FlyQuest have fallen by the wayside. It's all down to Goose Breeder, the leader, the absolute voice of reason, the calming effect, to now clutch this out. 1 versus 2, she's managed to get that first kill. She knows where both of these two players are, has to play this very carefully, and unfortunately gets swung. A beautiful first round for Shia here. Not a great start for FlyQuest.
That was actually a really lovely pistol round from Let Her Cook, because Jonana gets very aggressive in apartments, and you think, oh no, she's died straight away. It's a 4v5, like, why is she getting aggressive there? But it's all a ruse, because there was 3 players when Zia rotated in, which was very swift. So it was a bait of Jonana gets aggressive, come onto the bomb site, please, we want you here. And FlyQuest Red actually just walk into Let Her Cook's trap, and especially considering this is a best of 1, it's the first game of the day, it's very early, players probably, I don't know, jet lag, are we having that conversation?
No.
But it's like, Let Her Cook, they come out, if they're able to get some rounds off the board on the defense here, like that could be a very important pistol round win.
Well, I mean, that's really interesting about this Let Her Cook roster, because for those that maybe don't remember, I think it was like Season 5?
Season 5.
Season 5, they get all the way to the grand finals. Now, I will put some caveats on that. I think there was like 2 players on this current roster that were on that squad. And they literally rolled up here and made it all the way to the grand final on vibes.
Yeah.
They were not a strategically deep team. They were relying a lot more on their individual skill and just kind of playing off of one another really, really well. And they made it all the way to the grand final. So this is certainly not a team that you can count out. I think that a lot of teams maybe looked at this. We also have to bear in mind, they were originally not going to be at the finals. They came in as a very last-minute addition. So the question then becomes, how much prep have FlyQuest had time to do on this team? The announcement was, I think about 2 weeks ago, so there has been some time.
They'd be fine for that, yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many teams to be wondering about and thinking about, and is this the team you consider your biggest potential competition? I don't know. We'll find out. Best of 1, anything can happen. But of course, this is going to be a pretty bog-standard anti-eco, or should be.
I mean, like, we've been there before with Let Her Cook of people thinking, we don't need to worry about them. So for FlyQuest, hopefully they've learned from last season as well. Sakura, then Supernova Comets.
Yeah.
That was, I think, in large, one of the reasons why they got to the finals, because people just didn't expect them to get there. Also, this eco is getting a lot of damage. They aren't going to win the round, FlyQuest Red, but 3 kills is a lot to take home when they had all invested, I think, a smoke and a flash.
Yep. I will say I got like a moment of whiplash when you said Supernova Comets, because obviously they spent the entire regular season being Shimmer.
They're just changing name whenever they feel like it.
And always really fancy names, the Comets, the Shimmering, the Sakuras.
The Shimmer is iconic. We have a Sakura plant here.
I love that.
Next to Newt's Nook.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All right. Gun round now for FlyQuest Red. A lot of damage done. Forces that reinvest from Let Her Cook. So potentially going to have some economic repercussions. We'll see how that does pan out. As again, we're going to be angling in towards that B side. Nice little Molotov here to slow down any pushes. That's going to give a lot of time for Let Her Cook to start gaining a little bit of map control here. We're already seeing them contest quite heavily in towards mid, but now that the Molotov is cleared, the utility will start to come through. They don't check, bro! The MP9 gets more value than it has any right to, because they just don't check the corner. 2 players remaining. Bomb has been lost, and with Emmy going down, Goose Breeder's the last one left. Can't even get damage, not a single kill.
That's kind of worrying to see the first gun round be absolutely flawless from Let Her Cook, and that was just signature FlyQuest. You have Goose Breeder going out middle, she's putting a lot of pressure, and they play that 1-4 T-side strategy. That's when we're watching FlyQuest T-side, they do that a lot. They send Goose Breeder to take that control, and then they hit another bomb site quite early on. Let Her Cook, we're really ready for that. You were talking about preparation. It's hard to prep against Let Her Cook, because there are vibes mixed, let's be honest. And for FlyQuest Red, it is easy to prep against them, and you can already see it coming out in fruition. But straight away, next round, they're applying that pressure even further.
Yeah, I mean, you came into the weekend with a phrase, Freddie. You said it was going to be your favorite phrase this weekend. Well, what was that phrase?
Litmus test, temperature test, and especially for this game for FlyQuest Red, it's what I think everyone's going to say is every single season we go FlyQuest Red, but it's like, are they actually going to perform? And right now, they're kind of being owned. It is only 4 rounds, but it's the best of 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you don't really have a lot of leeway, a lot of like room to breathe. It's not like, oh, we got 2 more maps, we can bring it back type of thing. They've got to start making miracles happen. And it's another round. Okay, they do finally manage to get 1 kill. I thought it was going to be 2 consecutive rounds where they don't even get a single kill. But at least they get that little bit of extra damage. And of course, it starts to be a bit of a who cares scenario. You know, there'll be a lot of money at the end of the round here for Let Her Cook. And FlyQuest having forced into this round, I say forced. It was a half-buy type shenanigan, upgraded pistols. They've got lost streak bonus, so they'll still have a good buy into the next round. So that's going to be a really important one for them to win, it feels like.
Yeah, what I want to see from FlyQuest Red next round is not try go for a set piece just straight out the door, because that's what the first gun round was. We're going to just instantly hit towards a B-bomb site. I would like to see FlyQuest Red play more of a default, and because that's how they're going to win this game. They should be able to just default Let Her Cook and win from that. Also, it is still very early on, but Marie yet to get a kill. Marie posted a significantly better regular season, a 0.3 plus rating on HLTV. She went from like 0.97 to 1.27. It was actually kind of ridiculous. That was the raw talent, the kind of diamond in the rough being smoothed out. So in this event, I am actually looking at Marie as quite significant. Yet to get a kill yet. It is still very early on, so I feel like we're going to have to see her getting the ball rolling.
What I'm also really curious about is we're seeing a surprising amount of defensive line being held over onto that B-bomb site. And I'm wondering if that's like a form of conditioning here, waiting to see if they can force FlyQuest to move and then be able to react to that. Maybe I'm putting too much stock in the LHC girls.
To condition for FlyQuest, they have to win the round.
Whew.
So, you know.
Damn. All right, Freddie.
They've been going B a lot, unsuccessfully.
Yes, very much so. Maybe this is where... Nope. We're still going B, friends. Do you know what? If it didn't work the first 4 times, maybe this time.
Yeah, this looks like actually more of a default. It's kind of what I was wanting. They get Emmy out on the AWP, see if she can get a pick early. She's a very aggressive AWPer, and Jenny R is just going to give her that pick.
Nice little boost up there as well. Caught utterly unawares. But look at this mid control. They know that there are players here. They're trying to force that advantage. Goose in a tucked in corner. Emmy holding for that little bit of suppressive fire with an AWP of all things. And between the two of them, they've brought down the LHC forces to only 2 players remaining. Emmy finally misses a shot and will be put down for it. But it's still player advantage FlyQuest Red. That being said, they have garnered no real control here. Now, they know that one player is deep down mid. They don't know where the second player is. They have to get the bomb. And again, they know that they could be being watched here. So the paranoia starts to set in. But they've cleared out the A bomb site. With this bit of information, they should be able to turn the round around.
The issue is Vanessa going to find Zia? Because so Vanessa's making her way through CT. You'd expect her to go through murder, and this actually should just be round done and dusted. Vanessa's going to come through, shoot Zia in the back of the head. There you go. And now Melly has to 1v3 for the A. She does get the first kill on Vanessa. 35 seconds. FlyQuest Red, they're going to have to commit towards this A bomb side. This is a very tall order, but can Let Her Cook stay flawless.
Certainly doable, but a big ask, as you said. And there's a world in which Melly just picks up the AWP and heads out. But they've got a decent bit of money here.
She's got 4 util.
Yeah, and feeling confident that they can still make something happen. Bit of a headshot angle there, and the information comes through, gets fed over to Bibian, who's hiding behind the default box and can shut that down. Finally, FlyQuest Red showing some signs of life.
didn't expect that round to get that close. I was pretty sure the best part of a 5v2, yeah, 5v2. And it very quickly gets very complicated in a way that I don't think that should have happened. It's a great round from FlyQuest Red, but it's also just a missed call from Let Her Cook. We expect them to play very fast. It's exactly what they do. Unfortunately, that pressure apply doesn't succeed. So it's FlyQuest Red on the board, but it wasn't clean.
Yeah. Need to see something a little bit better. Again, really heavy stack towards B. I wonder if they've read into this, because FlyQuest do like to take a bit of B. So maybe this is one of those reads, but it does look like, again, there's a bit of an angling here. Bomb is even hovering towards that direction as well. Of course, there's lots of time to pivot if they so choose. Good to see them changing up the flow as well, as you were saying, right? A lot of those set plays that were just kind of getting shut down very, very quickly. Let Her Cook expecting maybe a bit of a set play towards B, but they've spread out and reinforced A. So this is looking like a little bit more of a typical hold. And dear Lord, wouldn't you know it, the bomb has pivoted and is starting to make its way in towards the A site. This is such a good read from Let Her Cook, but can they get the results?
Let Her Cook cleared that B apartments. They've gamble stacked over towards the A bomb site. There's 4 players here. The execute's going to come in, but the CT side, they're ready and waiting for it. And they've got util to drop.
A spike tucked in. Certainly will be expected, but is it known that Molotov does a chunk of damage? A suppressive fire to try to enable Emmy to find space. Goosebraider's labored spray. Bibion finally gets one back, but the gamble stack pays off. This is incredible from a team that I think many would have counted out coming into this weekend. I am super impressed.
I'm impressed from Let Her Cook, but I'm also a little bit almost scared for FlyQuest Red because they would have heard the deep flashbang pretty much at the start of that round, and yet they never actually cleared B apartments. They just continued with their setup of playing passive towards apps, taking mid control, and then heading towards A. There was no pressure actually applied anywhere on the map to force Let Her Cook to rotate away. So, you know, it's great from Let Her Cook, but this is also just kind of worrying to see from FlyQuest Red coming out the gates. This, to me, was the game where FlyQuest Red temperature check. They come out the gate swinging. They show why they're the best team coming out from North America this season. And yet, in the first 6 rounds, that's the complete opposite of what I'm seeing.
Back down onto pistols once again. See if we can get a little bit more out of this A site this time. Gonna have to be quick about it before those reinforcements can come in if they are gonna get the full value out of this. So very quickly the pop starts to happen. Joanna in a great position here is able to follow up on that beautifully. And well, it is once again a absolute firing squad. FlyQuest barely touched the site. I think they've already had 1 plant in 7 rounds.
Was that the pistol round? Or the round they won? Like, they haven't had a bomb down.
No, that was the round they won.
Yeah, so they haven't had a bomb down in the round that I think they've lost. So they've
exactly.
Cool from FlyQuest Red. I imagine it's because Zia was playing towards CT with the AWP in the previous round. So they try to hopefully like jump out Palace, isolate the AWP. Issue is in that round, Let Her Cook were also prepared for an anti-Palace pop. So these first 7 rounds, we've had our second tactical pause coming out now for FlyQuest Red. Getting Sheikh Zula on the mic. He's a very experienced player. He's also very good with the people on the server. I think that's where he was a bit different from Munster, who's more analytical. So what I would actually have wanted to hear from Sheikh Zula in this tactical pause is just like, wake up.
Good morning, America, because it is obviously an NA team. 10:15 here in Stockholm. It was a bit of an early day. I imagine they would have been there about an hour or so ago, maybe.
Saw them at breakfast. Yeah, they left about the same time as us.
There you go, you know, get into the prac rooms. I mean, I woke up at 6:30. I don't know about everybody else. So it's an early day here. It's not like Dallas. Although I suppose for Dallas, they're on site, so it is still an early day.
Still an early day, yeah.
Ugh, time zones. All right. Guns in hand once again. We're still seeing some less than stellar performances, I would argue, from 2 players here on FlyQuest.
Look at this. FlyQuest aren't doing anything around the map. Let Her Cook. They're mobilizing. They've pushed the whole of B apartments. And again, there's 4 players here.
These reads from Let Her Cook have just been unreasonable. I don't know if it's reads or if it's just right place, right time. But no matter how you slice it, once again, Spike, Sheer, shut down the can openers and give themselves an opportunity. And Gooseberry gets the first, can't follow it up. Unfortunately, it's a deadly 50-50 that she does end up losing. Now last two players alone on an island, don't realize there's a flank coming in. Melly activates, gets an extra 2, and it's devastation in the FlyQuest camp.
This is season 5 all over again. This is just 1 minute and 30. CT side, we're pushing extremities. And FlyQuest Red, they don't seem prepared for that whatsoever. On top of that, the individuals have come out to play today. You look down the board. Spike, this is her first ever ESL Impact LAN. She's 9-2 right now. Jonana didn't have a very good regular season, 9-2. Zia, who's been the mainstay, the kind of star player on the AWP, stepping up 8-3. And Melly, what are we seeing with that? 10-4? That is ridiculous. 4 players on Let Her Cook are absolutely owning right now.
And unfortunately, on the flip side, I was saying, 2 players, Marie has not stepped up, unfortunately. She hasn't turned on her monitor yet. And Emmy, while she had a great round with the AWP in mid, it's been a bit of a flash.
That was it. That was literally it.
That's all she's done. Those have been the 2 kills. But now, okay, Mac-10 and Tech-9s activate on the B side. It's all a ruse. It's the first fake that we're actually seeing from the FlyQuest squad, and it seems to be paying off. Bomb has been planted, and it's all down to Jenny R now. No stranger to ESL Impact, no stranger to the finals, the LAN environment, but a 1 versus 4 clutch is what it's going to take. The HE does a ton of damage, but doesn't finish it off, so she still has to clear every angle and cannot get it done. Emmy with yet another kill here at last, and FlyQuest start to find a rhythm.
That's what they need. They need a gimmick round with the Tech-9s and the Mac-10s to just get that ball rolling. And Marie on the ball. She needs that first kill. She's still a very young player, and I wasn't actually nervous for her whatsoever coming into this LAN, because FlyQuest out in North America, they're playing Fragadelphia's, they're playing DreamHack in Atlanta, and Marie actually played really well in a lot of those LANs. So I was thinking, okay, she's not on liner. She can do it on LAN, and I've been a little bit scared already watching this. I think she's phenomenal. Her improvement from Season 7 to Season 8, in my opinion, probably is the best in the whole of this finals. And to see her having this rough start, it's going to be difficult for someone that young to bounce back, but a round like that is exactly what they need.
See now how Let Her Cook respond. They've been doing a lot of poking and prodding and taking space this time, going for a slightly more passive approach. Again, we're seeing a lot of the FlyQuest utility over towards that A site. And again, I think it's intended to try to be a bit of a ruse, but Let Her Cook seem to have learned from their past transgressions. They haven't started to over-rotate just yet. They've still got a bit of a floater hanging down towards the murder hole. Can pivot to either one of the sites if she so chooses. So reaction time should be quick. Unfortunately, Marie gets a little bit too big for her britches, and she's going to get shut down by Sheer. That's going to leave things very uncomfortable here. Damage being shot through, and so limited on utility. FlyQuest just falling like flies. I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably the least coordinated we've seen the FlyQuest roster in a hot minute. Utility's not being used. It's not being followed up on. They're kind of just randomly swinging. It's a bit early for the pressure to be getting to them.
I don't know if it's pressure, if they haven't woken up, but this is worrying, especially considering that this is Mirage. This is supposed to be FlyQuest Red's map. And sure, we can have the conversation of, oh, it's a puggy map. I personally hate that whole conversation. Like, let's get that all out of this.
It's my favorite conversation.
Let Her Cook. Sure, it's a puggy map, but I think how they're playing this would very much be able to go to any other side. And yeah, Let Her Cook, they're instantly taking mid control. FlyQuest Red, they're going to go out through this Lurk smoke on B. There is only one defender here, so they should be able to at least, at a minimum, get the bomb down.
Yeah, well, the question is, I mean, they've been caught not checking angles before. This time around, however, shots get fired, give away the game a little bit. BBR does manage to get the site open, and Let Her Cook going for that aggressive mid-push has been the opening that FlyQuest need. But can they hold on to it? They've got that player advantage. They've taken a little bit of damage, and they're now going to be figuring out where these reinforcements are going to be coming in from. They've got eyes everywhere. They've got a lurk being set up as well. But Sheer shuts down BBR. And that's going to bring this into a far more doable scenario for our CT side as they start making their way in. Vanessa, beautiful shots connecting there. Oh, and this time it's Let Her Cook that don't check the angle. A very clean round from FlyQuest. Admittedly, off the back of Let Her Cook just not being present on the site.
You missed that. Oh, sorry, that completely threw me off. That was... All right, Abby. At least she's excited. But yeah, no, it's good to see, especially BB. That entry pathing was fantastic. Like, someone needed to take the space. I was a little bit worried by the fact that there was no one with her. So if she died there, that would have been a really scary round because Jonana would have stayed alive for a lot longer. But BBN, she needed to get that opening kill. She did. Very good entry pathing. A lot of conviction. And FlyQuest Red, they are holding on for dear life. They can still get 4 from this half. And all of a sudden, they win second pistol and they're back into it. And Emmy, with his AWP, is coming a lot more alive than I anticipated.
I mean, I'll be honest, I was anticipating more. So it's good to see her kind of starting to step up a bit there. Nice flashbang, gets Sheer off the angle, gives them the space they need to get in onto the side. There's still someone here. Oh, Jenny R can't hold on to the anchor and get shut down. And FlyQuest, well, it looks like they should be getting themselves a 4th into the half at last. Those signs of life, the question starts to become, is it too little too late? Do they still have a little bit of fight left in them? They're still playing this really nervous. Bomb only now going down, giving a lot of respect to Melly, who's been a bit of a multi-kill monster, but not this time. 8-4 will be our score at the half, and FlyQuest need to mount a comeback.
Last part of that half there, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure in the second half,
Nice.
again,
Nice.
let's play very fucking confident. Like, during the scrim yesterday, you guys were playing very decisive, very sure what we want to do. Pretty timid right now in this game. Again, the execution, like, a little struggling right
Yeah,
now.
my
But,
bad.
like,
So
again, let's just make sure we're plugging these mid rounds. Like, let's call the pathing we're going to do. Mid rounds, again, we're not on T side, but like, same thing on the CT side. Where are our gaps? Where are we going to rotate in? What do people need to be looking at, right? Let's focus on very broad macro stuff. Let's be very decisive in these rounds. Like, what are we playing strong for? Okay. Mid setup. Again, let's just have very clear goals in these rounds.
It's time for you to step into the light, spread your little wings and start to fly. 'Cause you just need to love the life you're living. Step into the light. See all the colors, don't fade back into gray. And remember, it's only just begun. Somehow you gotta let yourself go. No point in hiding in the shadows. 'Cause all you gotta do is believe. Step into the light, spread your little wings and start to fly. 'Cause you just need to love the life you're living. Step into the light. Spread your little wings and start to fly. 'Cause you just need to love the life you're living. Step into the light. And now it's time for you to step into the light.
A tale of two stories. Let Her Cook come out the gate swinging. They play with a lot of ferocity. FlyQuest Red, timid. I think that's the right word to use. They didn't come out as fierce as I would have expected or wanted, but they get 4 rounds at the half, and now they're on the CT side. A pistol round and a first gun round win, boom, right back into the game. We can forget about the first half.
You got to wonder how much stress is affecting their mental, you know, knowing that they've had less than the best performances in previous finals. I mean, they've never missed a final, but they have struggled in these international events, and maybe that pressure is starting to get to them a little bit here. Joanna, however, not feeling that pressure at all, unfortunately does get shut down. The anchor of Vanessa also stepping up here. Jenny R will be able to trade back, but Goose Breeder keeps it competitive and Let Her Cook in a very uncomfortable spot here. Now the experience of Jenny R becomes a very important pivot piece if they're going to have an opportunity to bring this back around. Goose Breeder makes noise, but it doesn't matter. The shots are just sharper, and Melly's left to somehow 1v3 guard the bomb from Incursion, and that's not happening. The swing is too good, and while there is a bomb planted, ultimately it's still FlyQuest taking the round.
FlyQuest Red getting a bit elated. We got a lot of different gestures going on over in that camp. Let Her Cook, I think, overcooked that round a little bit. I wasn't sure the whole Jonana lurking out B as the XQ was coming out onto A felt a little bit unneeded. But FlyQuest Red, the narrative that I've been wanting to spin on their CT side has already kind of come into effect. The anchors, they have a rock-solid baseline. Vanessa over towards the A bomb site in the regular season posted her best ever statistics in the online season. And she's played every single season. So that's pretty impressive, I'd say. And then Marie, we've already spoken about. She, you wouldn't expect it, plays over towards the B site. She's small site anchor. And every time I was watching their games, I was looking at Marie and I was just thinking, how is she getting these kills? Like, how is she doing this? So that's what I'm really excited to see for FlyQuest Red. And hopefully, especially in this turbulent game, that rock defense is going to be what they're able to fall back on.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that really impresses me about not necessarily FlyQuest specifically, but so obviously you've got at least 2 players that have never missed an Impact final, but BB wasn't always part of this squad. Goose Breeder has been that one constant. Every iteration, always at the helm, always leading, and no matter what team she has put together, what the hell is that?
What's going on there?
Is that that is like the most cursed thing. I already think Labubus are cursed. That is extra cursed.
Yeah, I'm gonna see I'm gonna see that in my nightmares.
Yeah, that's genuine nightmare fuel. Sorry. But yeah, so Goose has never had a roster that hasn't made it to a final, and she's not the only one, but I think that she's had the most parts to work with that are constantly changing to keep getting those same results. And you can make the arguments about NA being a slightly weaker region, whatever. Fact is, she keeps doing it.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's actually the issue that they had when Cowarday started IGLing and Goose Breeder started rifling, and when they kind of wanted to make a change, but they couldn't, because unfortunately, FlyQuest Red, they'd have to, it's quite a big ask to bring someone from Europe.
Yeah.
And Marie actually had kind of like the Olga treatment of she wanted to move to America, so hey, why not play Counter-Strike over there? Olga did that with HSG in China, and I think that's why they did pick up a player that was, 17 years old, only played 1 season of Impact, was because they couldn't attract that bigger talent. They had to find a diamond in the rough, and that's exactly what's happened. So the change, it's hard for a team like FlyQuest Red, but this change so far is looking good. They are going to have to contend to, in round 14, against a force buy from Let Her Cook.
Yeah. Admittedly, bringing Vanessa and Emmy back have also seemed to give them that little bit of like wind beneath the wings, so to speak. We're starting to see them do really well, and they did come through this season. They finally beat then Shimmer, now Sakura, to reclaim that North American crown.
13-1 on map 3 as well. They owned them.
Scary, scary, scary performance. But we'll get into those conversations a little bit later on in the weekend. Dear God, Melly. All right, well, that's how you want to kick it off. Unfortunately, we'll get an instant trade back here, but it's still keeping a little bit spicy. FlyQuest having lost 2 players already. That bomb is going to get planted. Now have to wait for the reinforcements.
And there's no kit, and look how far away Vanessa is. This is a very difficult situation for FlyQuest Red. They've got a player disadvantage, and they've got time against them.
Well, now they've evened up the player numbers, so perhaps that can still work in their favor. Goose swings straight into Shia's crosshairs, followed up quickly by Emmy. That trade does not go the way that they wanted it to, and Emmy now left all alone, no time remaining to her. Maybe a little bit of damage, but it looks like this is going to be a very quick trade back. That's devastating. It was a risky force, but it's paid off in ways I don't think FlyQuest were expecting.
That's all melee. Zia obviously gets 3 kills to win out the round, but that's Zia through and through. She gets that opening kill, the deagle here. Bye-bye. Bibian, nice little haircut. Yeah, that opening kill is everything. So it opens up the bomb site, and I was talking about how great the anchors are. It's pretty hard to be a great anchor when your support player dies within a second. It kind of leaves Marie in just this unwinnable position, and then the rotations, well, they didn't expect that play to come out so quickly. Let her cook. They're cooking up a storm right now.
This is so funny because obviously the desk were like, yeah, 13-11, 13-10.
I
mean, it looks like we were all wrong because it looks like it could be a dominant win. Well, we can't count FlyQuest out just yet.
That round, to me, is like, I think that...
Done and dusted?
Why? They won pistol, and I was like, yes, okay, we're going to have a competitive game. And then losing the conversion, and on the CT side, when you lose conversion, it's a lot worse than the T side, because look, they're literally on 5-7s and deagles.
All right, Freddie, we have a dynamic, okay? You're the pessimistic one, I'm the optimistic one. Can we please, stay in your lane?
That's what I'm doing. I was just saying it's pretty bad for them.
I'm just making sure, all right? You can't steal my job here. That's not how this works.
It's a gamble stack, though, so let her cook. They're going the other way.
Gamble does not pay off, unfortunately. But I think that this is one of those cases where you probably don't even try and push this necessarily.
Wouldn't mind a save. I'd actually like a save from this position, because that means Let Her Cook can go into what would be ordinarily an eco round with a little bit more bite to their bark, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So it's an unfortunate gamble set that doesn't go their way, but they can just reset into the next.
Bro, Goose is on 11 right now. She is on par with the 2 second highest fraggers on Let Her Cook. She is trying desperately to put the team in her backpack. And unfortunately, I mean, I hate being the one that calls out stuff like that, but it has just been a very disappointing performance here. And again, I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, obviously we know the players are underperforming, but again, we're not seeing that cohesion that we're so used to out of this roster. And again, not sure if it's nerves or what exactly is going on here. And not even Sheikh Zulu with his 2 timeouts has been able to get them, maybe they're just not talking. I don't know, man.
I'd call a third even now.
There you go.
Oh my god, okay.
All right, Coach.
Hey guys, I know bull, don't need to brag. But yeah, take a pause for this round, not talk for this round, for the next round. Yeah. And Sheikh's actually not talking. No, he is. Okay, I was going to say, well, to be fair, Goose Breeder, I was saying this to you guys, I think, yesterday. To me, she's one of maybe the main player in ESL Impact that I see as a true captain. As I see an outright captain. Not an IGL, a captain.
Yeah.
So especially in moments like this, that experience, I need to see that exude into some of the other individuals who seem quite quiet. Maybe communication, trade spacing was a bit rough on the T side. Comms could be at a fault for that, but these next 2 rounds are going to be basically win or bust for FlyQuest.
I think that's the point I was trying to make a little bit earlier, but you summed it up really, really nicely. Yeah, she's that person. I will say Sheikh's looked a little bit shaken.
I'd be terrified if I was him right now.
Yeah, seeing the frustration coming out there, but we're at 5 rounds now for FlyQuest. Unfortunately, like you said, right, the timeout isn't for this round. If anybody had any illusions of this being the one, there's a world. I don't think it's this one.
No.
So it's all about that next round. Unfortunately, the next round is so important because this should be Let Her Cook on 11. And as we know, that's just 2 rounds away from closing it out. It's a best of 1. FlyQuest don't have a lot of opportunities still being afforded to them. So we'll see them go for a little bit more of an advanced hold here in towards mid, expecting that aggression to come through. They've already spotted out some of these players. Nice swing from Goose, but the follow-up not where it needs to be. Finally, Vanessa will trade one back, but it's just, again, a firing range here from Let Her Cook. They're covering each other perfectly, and well, it is a pistol round, so a little bit of damage is great, but how much of a difference is it going to make in the long run?
Yeah, damage is not even remotely the name of the game right now. BBN, unfortunate, doesn't even land a single shot. I think that's kind of summed up her game, and then also FlyQuest Red's game on Mirage. This is the opening game in the ESL Impact Season 8 finals. It is pretty much do or die for these teams sometimes. You know, you lose a best of one, and then boom, you're on the brink of elimination. And FlyQuest Red, who haven't made it out of the group stage since Season 3.
I'm sure they've played playoffs since then.
No. Season 3. Dallas. They made playoffs.
Surely.
It's been since Season 3. And with this form, it doesn't look like that's going to change.
I mean, that's been our big conversation piece, right? The first North American team to make a grand final was not FlyQuest Red, who have been here since the very beginning. I was a usurper, so to speak. So this is a very stressful situation for them, and to kick off their run this weekend with a loss would be absolutely devastating. And already, Emmy has been shut down, taken off board. That's one of those anchors gone. The A site is utterly capitulated. They're going to have to go for a retake scenario here. But again, look at all this damage that's just being churned out. And I say damage, it's more about that utility, the bullets flying, the suppressive fire to come out that stops the attempt at pushing back in on towards the site, kind of slows things down massively, gives massive opportunity. The flashbang, well, it doesn't give Joanna a kill, but again, it buys that little bit more time. And it's causing FlyQuest to stress a bit about that re-entry. We see some trades back and forth, down to a 2 versus 2 time, not on their side. They do have a kit on board here, but they're going to have to find themselves in position. Out in the open, the trade comes out, but Joanna knows where BB is. Can BB win out on this one? Yes, she can. Connects the shot, but no time for the defuse. And that, ladies and gentlemen, could be the end of this series for FlyQuest Red.
A great retake. They were in a 4 versus 5, a player disadvantage. That is a good retake. They just couldn't deal with the 2 players in that 2v2 in a quick enough time because they were coming from jungle and connector. They had to actually mobilize, and it just took them far too long. FlyQuest Red, wow, backs against the wall. They're already on the 11th hour, and I feel like we've barely started. I mentioned in the very opening game round is like, this is a best of one, and it might just end right here because Let Her Cook, pedal to the metal. They are already on this A bomb side, and I think that could be it.
Oh, Emmy, you needed to hit that one. But Vanessa and BB, hand in hand, keeping this a little bit more hotly contested, giving themselves a numbers advantage here. This is desperation in their hands. Joanna runs straight into Mari's MP9. Mari has activated at last, but Vanessa takes down one. Spike looking for the follow-up, and she finds it. 2 versus 2. HP dangerously low for Let Her Cook, but they've still got over a minute. They've still got the bomb in hand.
They know both
They can pivot. They're heading all the way over towards the B site, but Vivian ready to hold them off. The smoke comes out to deny the sideline in the murder hole. They're going to try and cross over, but BB through the smoke gets the first, runs out of bullets, can't connect onto Shia. Now down to dangerously low HP. She should be able to at least get this bomb planted. The Molotov to slow down that retake attempt, gets it down, has to hold for the 2 players that she knows is coming in from this mid position. Repositions herself, tries to find the perfect angle, the perfect position to hold for these last 2 players, and timing now is going to be everything. BB and Goose, these are the veterans of this roster that have participated in every single LAN final, looking for a chance, an opportunity, an opening, and BB has found it. FlyQuest, a stay of execution.
I was thinking, Zia, she has been the best player in Let Her Cook this season. I was thinking if there's anyone that can do it, it is certainly her. But unfortunately, low HP, and at the last moment, changes her purview away from where the players are coming from. That is very unfortunate. That was a really great attempt, but regardless, that was a gimmick round. Let Her Cook have so many rounds to play with, and unfortunately, they maybe just tried to end it off a little bit too quickly, especially when it was in the 3 versus 4. Joanna, who had the bomb, could have just smoked CT, but instead just kind of dry peeks it. That's when you see maybe the ebbs and flows of a mix coming out, but Let Her Cook, they don't close it out here. It's more FlyQuest survive to see it. They survive to die another day right now. They need to do that 6 more times. And even then, that was very close when FlyQuest always had the advantage in that.
There's still so much more to get done, man. Losing my mind in that round and realizing that, well, it could all just be for naught. As you said, it has to be picture perfect, pixel perfect, in fact.
Oh, Melly, she's got a timing.
Oh, God. Oh, there's positioning from mid. She's been spotted out. Can't quite connect those shots. Okay, she got a timing, but she got timinged, unfortunately. That's going to be a nice little opener here for FlyQuest, and they don't overstay their welcome as well. Smoke comes out, they back away, and they wait to play this a bit more patiently.
FlyQuest playing pretty aggressive in connector, in ladder room, and also Marie coming from short. She's just left the B bomb site. They want to fight towards middle, but Spike's actually going to be with the bomb on her back, leading the charge, and that feels a little bit complacent potentially from Let Her Cook. Not coordinated in mid, and FlyQuest just shut them down before anything can really start going.
These have been some really good trades. Now they have control of the bomb. They need to try to hold on to it. Unfortunately, so many sidelines. Marie on a bit of a flank there. This was such a great round. I really enjoyed watching this. The trades were really good. I think a lot of that comes down to the connector smoke being a little bit too deep. So there's positioning there. Once BB goes down in ladder, Spike is able... Not Spike, sorry. I can't remember who traded her, but it was Spike that died. There you go, Goose and Con is able to trade off of that because that smoke is too deep, so she's got that positioning. And off of that, the trades start to come through, and the round kind of falls apart for Let Her Cook. This is what we needed to be seeing from FlyQuest.
I don't necessarily think the util was... That smoke wasn't the issue. It was more that Spike was up short basically by herself, and in con put the mollo down. You know, there was no other utility. And yeah, Spike gets traded there, and there's no contestion from Let Her Cook. They were trying to go for a mid-B split, but it felt just not everyone was on the exact same page. But then still, that was a pretty close round. Like that still, I was thinking, hey, there's a possible clutch. It was a 2v3, and the only reason I think that was one was because Marie just charged through a mollo. But for Let Her Cook, it's down onto a low buy. Hopefully a breath of fresh air for FlyQuest Red, or a heartbreaking end.
This is a real potential pivot point for them. Now for Let Her Cook, this is a team that is kind of crazy. So pistol round could, I mean, jumping out of the apartments wouldn't look like that. Like that is the definition of a little bit crazy.
You're like, guys, I have a timing.
Like on the previous round, that had a timing. I mean, that should have been a timing.
Melly had a timing. If she'd kept on going through Abso, she would have shot Marie in the back of the head, and it was like, oh, maybe.
So unfortunately, this doesn't end up being a crazy shenanigan round like it very well could have. And this is going to give FlyQuest that slight breath of fresh air. They've gotten 2 of the 6 that we said that they needed. But at the end of this round, Let Her Cook will be back in the money. And they, if I'm not mistaken, they haven't taken a timeout yet. So they actually still have some opportunities here to potentially make more adjustments. Great shot from Melly. Take down Goose in connector. That's going to give them a pathing onto the A side, but unfortunately just don't have the utility to cover their ingress. Spike now all alone. Does actually have the bomb, but her position is so known. She takes so much damage. That had to have been... Oh, it was from the... Yeah, there you go, from top of ladder.
What's going on?
That's a cheeky shot from Spike. Okay. Last 2 players are very, very separated here. She doesn't know where BB is. She just dies. Yep,
okay.
There you go. Woo! Crisis averted.
I'm still looking at this like, how did that round kind of get close? But okay, 4 rounds to go for FlyQuest Red. Let Her Cook. It's going to be said in every single game they play, they're always going to struggle on the T side. Letty mentioned it on the desk of they don't really have an IGL figure. Zia has IGL before in Ensafina, but has changed roles where she wanted to primarily just focus on AWPing. But it's like, who takes charge in these moments? Who's the captain? Who's the IGL? Who rallies the troops for Let Her Cook when things start to maybe spiral a little bit? They've still got 4 rounds. They're back on the rifles. There's no need for concern yet. This is the round where concern might start to brew if FlyQuest Red win this.
Oh, beautiful opener from BB, and again,
taste their own medicine.
Yeah, not overstaying that welcome either. Backs away, not willing to give a trade unnecessarily, because to be fair, trades have been pretty decent here from Let Her Cook, so you don't want to put yourself in that uncomfortable situation unnecessarily. A lot of damage done onto Jenny R as well. A bit of fancy footwork there that could have ended quite badly.
Oh,
dear God, Zia. Oh, the shot from Goose and the follow-up means that now they have a pivot point. They're going to start moving on, and they run straight into Emmy's AWP. looking for a second, can't quite connect it, but Marie from jungle, a 3-person spray down. That's that won't hurt the stats.
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting call from FlyQuest Red, because the reason why Let Her Cook went towards the A bomb site is because they've killed the con player. So let's go up con. But Marie had already rotated in as the B anchor. BB was actually the only player on B. Marie rotated in, comes to cover jungle, with also still having Vanessa on the anchor being able to hold towards ramp and palace, and that allows Emmy to then hold towards con. So a really interesting read from FlyQuest where they just get it correct. And also for Emmy, that's the first time I've seen her get an AWP kill, or maybe just a kill this half. So finally getting her on the board, and Marie able to get a little bit energetic with it.
It's good to see Marie starting to step up a little bit, yeah, but it's BB that's really taken the reins. We're talking about Goose and how much she was doing. Oh, Emmy!
Another AWP kill, that's good to see.
Yeah, anti-eco. You know, sprinkle in a little bit of tempering over there, but...
Confidence plays a big part though, and especially with how timid FlyQuest Red are, just any confidence, any kills, Marie getting a 3K on the hold, like that does matter. And now, blink and you miss it, double digits for FlyQuest.
2 rounds away from overtime, 4 of the 6 in the bag.
1 gun round.
North Americans, lend FlyQuest your voice, because they need it. They need your support now more than they have in a hot minute. They may just still be in with an opportunity here. Europe's got so many representatives in this tournament.
There's so many at the minute.
Yeah, there are so many teams in this one. It doesn't need to be this team. There's 3 other options.
Ooh, they're going. We've seen it before. It didn't work last time for Let Her Cook, but this time they're going to surge out onto the A bomb site. Joanna trying to open up, has successfully for 1 and will for 2. A 3 versus 3, and now the dust settles as Util gets planted.
A slight off angle from Emmy allows her to get that first, and there's the trade-off as well, but it's 2 for 2.
Bomb's not going down.
It's so uncomfortable. They are terrified at this particular junction. Do they not know? Does she not know she has? Oh no, she knows.
They have no utility. They put all the util down, but nothing towards CT. They're terrified of CT, and the longer they wait, it allows Bibian to capitalize on the espionage as she's coming through on the flank.
20 kills to her name, looking to get a few more if she can. Flash out towards short. Oh my god, Marie! Oh, she just gets deleted. That's devastating. They know the Millie's there. They were waiting for BB.
She made noise.
They knew it was possible. The step comes through, and FlyQuest have let this opportunity slip away. They will lose the first best of 1 of the day, of the weekend, and Let Her Cook will move forward to the next stage in the GSL bracket.
They're doing it again. It's happening again. Season 5 is running it back. Let Her Cook are cooking.
Oh.
It was a little bit difficult on the T side, and I do wonder if that's a theme that we continue to see